G'day guys, today strap in. This one's a little bit longer. That's because there's a lot of process involved. Now, on this layout, I'm creating 3 waterfalls and I'm going to show you exactly how to make them, and below I will have the dimensions of what I've worked out is a really good size to, you can adjust all these accordingly. This is not my idea. I actually learnt this forever ago. I don't even know how long ago it was, and I learnt it from another YouTuber. It's, her name is Sam Kalau, I think you pronounce her name. She's an English lady. She has awesome ideas. They're for cards though. So this is something she does on a card. I have adapted it to work on an album, in your photo album. So normally I actually do this sort of thing when I make a mini album. I'll do something like this on 1 or 2 pages throughout the mini album, just to be able to boost up how many photos you can fit in a mini album. So what you can see me doing here is I'm actually creating 3 separate waterfalls, all the same size, all the same dimensions, right? I'm just writing the dimensions and stuff on the back of everything, and I'm labeling everything A, B, and C, right? That way, if I'm putting a B together and there's an A there, I know it shouldn't be there. So then I pull out my, I think it's We Are Memory Keepers. My brain does not want to work today. It really does not want to work. This is a scoreboard, people. Good Lord. I think I need a drink. Oh, I can't drink. But, you know, at the end of the day. So, and no, I'm not pregnant. That's not why I can't drink. So I go through and you have to score every, I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the centimeters and stuff, because I think, or the inches, I think it's easier if I just put them down below. So what I'm showing you there is the hills and valleys on the bit of cardstock that I've just scored. So when you score, you put your sheet down in the scoring tool. Whatever side is up, you're pressing down on it. So when you lift it up, you fold it so it creates a peak. So see how it just creates that little peak? If you want me to do a video specifically showing you how to make a waterfall, drop a comment below, because this one, I show you how I glue it all together. I do slow that down a little bit so you can see where I'm gluing what pieces. So I love this. This is the new Paige Evans Garden Shop collection, and I just love it. Now, I do make a massive mistake. I leave it in to show you how I fixed it. So right here, right now, I'm just going around with a little bit of water, spritzing it on top. My piece that I'm working on here is the Poppy Crafts 350 GSM, 240, sorry, GSM cardstock. That's what I put on the back. Now, and then obviously the main piece of paper there, which I adore. It is gorgeous, which makes it all the more annoying what happens down the track. Stick with it. It's not too far away. So what can I tell you about this? I really enjoy making mini albums. Last year I made a Christmas album and I never got around to putting the photos into it and finished decorating it. So that album will now become this year's album most likely, and I will end up I'm not sure. I might end up doing that yet. So all I'm doing here is adding a few strips of white around the back. I didn't need another full sheet of white wasted behind there, so I just used a couple of 1-inch strips of bits and pieces. Oh, don't mind me, I was on FaceTime. So basically I just go through. Now this bit's pretty boring, but I left it in, I think, because, you know, I'm inking all the edges on all my little waterfalls. So these are the strips that you pull to make your waterfall flip over to the next photo and the next photo and the next photo. So if you've never seen a waterfall done before, please feel free to slow the speed down on the video and watch it that way. Alternatively, just leave me a comment, and if you want me to create a quick bit video on how to make these waterfalls, I am more than happy to do that. And apparently I needed some coffee. So when I started off, you may have noticed I pulled out Kitsch Flamingo, and that's what I was going around the border, and that was just a distress ink. Well, I'm not sure if I'm spoilt, but I've reached a thing today where I just needed it to be, I needed to go to my colours in my oxides, because they're buttery and you get a really smooth blend. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted it to be a smooth blend. So I ended up going over the border with the WORNE lipstick in Distress Oxide. I went around all the edges on my waterfall to do the same. And this is how you put it together. So see, I've slowed it down a little bit. So you fold it over. Okay, put it away from yourself. And then you line it up. Now this is a 3 by 3 inch square, and it's going on top of a 2-inch wide strip. So you have to line this up. See, I'm about to do it wrong, and I did it wrong, and then I realized, don't worry, I realized, whoops, it's supposed to go on that way. I do that so many times, and it doesn't matter how many waterfalls I make, I still do it. Is there something you do all the time that you've done it so many times and you kick yourself every time you do it, but still you do it? Oh, it's so annoying. So, okay, I'm just doing this nice and slow. Sorry, I needed a drink. It's raining and it's all stuffy, and I feel all stuffy. I don't know why. So, okay. So, what I'm using here is American Crafts white textured cardstock. Why am I using that? Because you have to actually use a lower. So American Crafts, hang on, I'm going to check. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here. I promise, I'm still here. It is... Now it's not going to tell me on the side. It's 80 pound or 216 GSM cardstock. Sorry if that sounded like I was miles away. I was. So basically, you need that to be flexible for it to fold and bend and flip. What I forgot to do, I do go back and correct it. So there's a little bit of a, well, she stuffed that up, didn't she? I haven't made one of these for a while, and I forgot the little key ingredients that make it, what makes it flow, what makes it, yeah. You will see what I do. Now I'm using this Stickmaster red tape. See how it flicks like that? That's how it's supposed to be. Now I have to do that times 3 now. I am fold it down. Now where the score line is, see that rectangle? You just put your glue on that. Look, I did it again. See? Every time. I don't know why I do that. And believe me, with art glitter glue, you don't have much time to realize your mistake and fix it. So I'm just lining it up. I'm just eyeballing it. That first one you put down, you just line up the rest of them with that square. So they sit and fall perfectly on top of each other. So at the moment, so I put on each waterfall has 5 cards on it. I'm actually only using 4, and then the back one, I do journaling on that. So on all 3 waterfalls, just to give me a space to do the journaling without it being obvious and on the page. You'll see what I mean at the end. So that's how we do on the waterfall. Not a drama. Don't stress about the lead pencil that's still on. Don't stress about that. To be honest, you don't have to do that. I did that because I sometimes I literally, so see this piece here? So you want it to be flush with that end piece. And that's your 1 inch wide piece. So you put that over the end because that's the only piece of this that's actually connected to anything. That's why I pulled out this red sticky tape. It's from Stickmaster, and that stuff is really good. It is super sticky. But I realized very quickly with this, and I can't believe I stuffed this up, but so here's a third one. I'm just quickly speeding it up now because you've seen me do 2. And if you've got any questions, just leave them below and I'll answer them. If it's a slowed down video of just making 1 waterfall, if that's what you want me to do, happy to do a quick bit. So just let me know if that's what you like and you would like. Now, so this red tape that I bought it on a whim, seeing if it was like the red tape, and it is super sticky, but that one for some reason is really narrow. So all I did there was burnish my creases, and now I'm just adding my photos. My photos are just short of 3x3. So I've created a left hand. I didn't realize I should have picked which ones I wanted to go on the very front. And yeah, so all I'm doing is gluing these photos down. I have no issue using wet glue on the back of this photo paper because it's super thick and it doesn't get affected by the art glitter glue. So, and I didn't need to do anything extra to it. So once I put all these on, you may have noticed that I've done 2 in portrait mode and 1 in landscape. That was for a reason, because see how I had them lined up like that? Here's my mistake. So I glued that down, right? And I did not have a dry run. So I literally stuck that down. If you want to yell through the screen, feel free, because here's the big mistake. So I've glued that one down, right? So it's got its red tape peeled, stuck down. No dramas. I forgot to put the pull me tabs on there. So this is the Lawn Fawn Push Here stamps. I don't know if they're still available. I have had them for ages. I think they're a really super neat way of adding an instruction to an interactive scrapbooking layout. That's basically what it is. So I use those. I have used those so much. If you like any kind of interactive element on your scrapbooking pages, it's full of everything. It's got pull arrows, it's got pull, push, press. It's got all of that in there. It's perfect. So here's where I realized that I needed to reinforce the piece that you pull, because it was struggling and it was bending too much, and I know it would fail very quickly once the kids started looking through albums, and my kids love looking at this sort of thing, so I didn't want to chance it too much. So I've added the love heart. So I punched out the love heart with the Creative Memories 1-inch heart punch, and just out of the coordinating papers in the Garden Shop collection. So I've added those hearts. I did that for 2 reasons. One, I used a heart instead of a circle because the bottom of the heart it says pull me, and the bottom of the heart point is going the direction that I want you to pull it. So that's why I used a heart instead of just a circle. So you can see here, okay, so I've added those 2, and this is where the mistake happens. So I've gone ahead, I've stuck them down, and bingo, check it out. It looks really cool. That one works, that one works. This is really good. Now, the problem I had, you didn't really see it there. When I gave it a pull, the 2 bottom ones were getting stuck and you couldn't easily put them back down again. So for me, I was a little bit worried. So this is where I was going, okay, how long is it when you pull it down? And I was having all sorts of trouble with it. So what I decided to do in the end is do it how you can see it there. So you can literally give it a pull. The top 2 fold to the top. Not a problem at all. And then I realized the reason it's catching is because there's not, when I added that extra bit of cardstock, essentially it's like a handle. That's kind of what a reinforced handle. So what I ended up doing was adding some of these foam strips. They're not super, super thick. They're only like 2 mil thick, but it allows that extra little bit of room for that pull down to be a little bit looser. So that's why I did that. However, can you see what I did to my paper? I really like that one too. I'm so annoyed at myself because now I have to come up with a solution I've figured out that I need to redo those rectangle pieces. So I added extra, and then I added this is me deciding on another background paper. So I'm just flicking through the album, and then I come back to this one and I'm like, well, at least it's squares and it's same colors, same color tone, and it works. So I had to cut it down because I tried to lift up the other one because I didn't want to just waste it. But if you're watching closely at the beginning, when I glued it down, I did a big swirl through the back of it, so I can't just lift it up. So this is where I thought, I'll just lift it off. No, couldn't do it. So unfortunately, it became a sacrifice for the greater good of the scrapbook album. So that's okay. It is what it is. Got to do what you got to do. Now, you can probably see up the top there, top right, I ended up fussy cutting out, well, not fussy cutting. I cut them in a strip, and then I trimmed them down because I thought I was going to use them on the back of these photos, but they're actually way too small. So, which I could have saved myself the time, but that's all right. It's okay. So I'm adding the foam, and I've swapped them around so that they work so much smoother having that bit of foam there. I've actually never ever put foam behind it, and I've never had a problem. But for some reason on the scrapbook page, it just wasn't flowing as smoothly. Hey, I don't normally put 3 separate waterfalls on a page either. So, and it is, look, to be honest, it's a card making thing. It's something that card makers do on their cards for an effect. So, sometimes there's teething problems in the process, and I just have to get on top of it. I did that, not a drama. So then I went back to the paper pad, and there's these squares. I think they're not 3x3. They're a little bit smaller than 3x3. Maybe they're 2 3/4, maybe something like that. So all I'm doing with these is going through, I don't mind where they sort of sit on that square. All I'm doing is adding pretty papers to it because it's beautiful. I love this collection. It's so sweet. And it goes with my little girl. So, and her cheeky little grin and her little button nose. Sorry, I need a mouthful. Sorry. Got a dry mouth. Okay, so I've added the colours in the background. Now these thickers, I don't know what brand they are. I don't know if they are Thickers brand or if they're something else, because I took the thing off the end. So now I don't know what they are. I know they were on clearance, and I bought 2 packets of them, so I had enough letters to do at least one long title out of it. And this may well be my one long title, because they're all different on the sheet. There's no 2 letters are the same on it. So that sort of messes with my head, but it works on this layout. So I'm glad I pulled those ones out. So they've been in my collection for quite some time, probably 3 years. They've been in my collection and I haven't even touched them. So I was more than happy to use them here. And all I'm doing with these sentiment strips that there was literally a 12x12 sheet of just different word combinations, etc. They're not really quotes. They're just, so cute and you're beautiful and it's a new day. Just keep going. Things like that are written on there. So, yeah. It looks really good. It turns out really, really nice. I really love this layout. It's beautiful. And the main reason I wanted to do the waterfalls is because I wanted to do a page using all these photos in one hit. I was originally just going to butt them all together, create some lines, a little bit of drama between them. But then I thought, I haven't made a waterfall for so long and I love them. They're absolutely stunning. So, and they're a good interactive piece to have in your album as well. I like my albums to have not just beautiful in texture and all that sort of bizzo, but I like them to, I really, really like them to be bright and bold and have a point of difference. Not every page, like some pages you just have to pick and stick them, but I like my pages to have a bit of drama to them, so this worked a treat. At the moment I'm just going through with my Uniball Signo broad pen in white, and I'm just adding some white highlights along here. Now something I do after I switch the camera off is I go through and add some enamel dots, just a bit of tone on tone situation. The main reason I did it was because I'm sitting on all these enamel dots, and I honestly now prefer to use liquid pearls. That's just me. It's just me. But I don't find I reach for enamel dots very often. So it was an opportunity for me to use them. So just highlighting around those hearts with a bit of white so you can see what's going on. And then I decided to go around these backing pieces just with a border. And this is it, guys. So, shameless plug time. If you've watched this all the way to the end, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. And I would absolutely love it if you subscribe before you leave if you haven't already. If you have already, thank you so much. It gives me keeps me all warm and fuzzy. Thank you so much for that. And I will be bringing you another video. See, that's how the waterfall works. Isn't it gorgeous? So, and they all work exactly the same. So let me know what... My dog's gone crazy. She's falling out of her bed. So let me know if you want me to do a quick video in the quick bit section on how to create a waterfall. More than happy to show you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat to you soon. Bye for now.